taking control of my own emotions and not allowing other people to have that power. So I let people play in whatever circus they want to play in. I let people be in whatever vibrational level they want to be on. And I continue.
Let's talk about it. I want to be clear. I not only talk about love and marriage Huntsville, I talk about a variety of topics. As a matter of fact, my first viral video was Kanika Jenkins back in 2017. In the upcoming months, you can expect from this channel for me to review Love and Marriage Huntsville, Bell Collective, the Braxton Family Values, which I started reviewing 3 years ago. I also want to add the Shy Sisters and Love After Lockup, but we'll see how things, pan out because it is a job. Let's be clear. This is not easy. Shows like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Atlanta, and Potomac. Last we spoke, y'all, I talked to y'all about Martell Holt going live, and he was responding to what he would consider allegations against him pertaining to his child and the DV claims that came out in the court documents. Ever since then, Mel has responded and the documents has dropped. And I meant to pull these a long time ago. I just didn't know how in which I wanted to talk about this because it is sensitive. And we know that Mel was actually trying her best not to speak about the claims that her kids had against their father. I think the thing that people keep forgetting is that Martell Holt himself wanted these documents out, and we've seen on multiple occasions him mention these court documents because he wanted to so badly prove to the viewers and people that supported him that he was winning a court case against Mel.
Okay, but it was in the court documents that was sent from your team. So it's, and also, you were sanctioned. That's why I didn't want to talk about it. Because then we would have to put you on the hot seat.
Listen.
Oh, he finished?
I sent it to my post.
And to me, it just seemed like he and Arian has this embarrassing kink. First, and then second, it seemed like they're always concerned about winning something or correcting somebody. Because I didn't catch it then, but people is catching it now that during his live, Arian was in the chat asking him to correct the lies that Mel allegedly told on her daughter. I also want to remind y'all of this. Martell started this. Mel didn't want to go to the courts. I remember when she went to the parenting meetings with him, when she sat down with them in the park and had the kids tell them their deepest, darkest feelings about their divorce, and how Martell Jr. was crying and said, well, maybe y'all can get back together and so I can stop crying all the time. Like she's tried to do the amicable thing, which is work with him. But we have seen time and time again,
And to another thing that just disturbed me on yesterday, I found out that Melly, she dropped my children off. This was Sunday. Dropped my children off with all four of my children with a female babysitter who has a child. So there's 5 kids for her. That's 5 kids for her in an apartment, right? And Melody goes to a whole nother state. Guys, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But Melody goes to a whole nother state.
and as a matter of fact, he told me in certain circumstances, depending on the judge, they will side with the other parent. They will give the other parent a default judgment just contingent on your behavior alone. And in my opinion, it's very shameful to have adults have platforms and use it to discredit children that has had these experiences with their father. No way the judge would have ruled on anything that those kids had said had they thought for 1 minute that they were overly exaggerating. Let's start there. And everything in this document is very much so important, but I want to skip to the part in which Mel is claiming it's happening to the kids in real time. And since the final of the divorce, and since the provisions were in place for she and the children and Martell, that he has allowed Arian, whom I'm assuming is the paramour in the documents, but he has allowed her to go and talk freely about Mel disparagingly to her children. And we know that she's done this publicly as well, but I'm trying to remember September 6, 2022. What was happening around that time? Because when I went back to look at the live that Mel did in response to Arian, that was December. So what was happening in September? I'm drawing a blank. And what I've noticed about Arian and Martell is they will strategically place information in front of the bloggers and want them to talk about certain stuff. And when they do and they get backlash, then it's, why are they talking about me? Or, stop talking about me or take that video down. When, just for instance, Arian is rumored to be the one who had put the story out there about her and Martell, that she contacted Funky Dineva and other bloggers to cover her being his side chick. And then once it came out and people disparaged her, then it was, I can't handle it. I'm emotionally torn. I can't handle the stress. And the same thing with Martell. You wanted us to read these documents, and now that we're reading the documents, it's not what it seems. Like, what is wrong with it? He also has refused therapy between he and Martell Jr.
I'm looking at that. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Because she forced me to go to therapy, and to this day, I'm happy that I was forced to go to therapy because now I go on my own.
It says that it is clear by the father's actions that he has no intentions of complying with any of the orders of this honorable court. The mother requests that the father be found in civil and criminal contempt for said willful disregard of the court's previous orders, or in the alternative, that this matter be set for hearing and the father be ordered to appear and show cause why he should not be held in civil and criminal contempt of court. Also, it says that Martell is not providing adequate care for the minor children during the custodial periods. The father has asked the mother to deliver food to his house. Now, we know that she outed him on the last season about that. Remember, he was upset. So this must have been what was going on around that time when he wanted to do the sit down. He wanted her to drop this, and she didn't. I knew it, but I said that in my review. Seemed like he want her to do something. And then it goes on to talk about how Martell is consistently having the minor children around his side chick or paramour, who has threatened the mother and allows for her daughter to bully and taunt the minor children of the father. The mother fears that continued contact between the children and the father's paramour will cause confusion and emotional distress for the minor children, and I have to agree. My daddy was very promiscuous, and he had a lot of women around me, and the only reason why they were even remotely acting like they were interested in me is to get next to him, and once they got him, they treated me like crap. So emotional distress, absolutely. It's not fair, and it's disturbing that he would even allow for her to be. If you really cared and you sat down and talked to your children about how they really feel, because see, you probably the type of parent that feel like a child needs to stay in a child's place. They ain't got no feelings, right? But that's gonna come back to bite you in your ass. My daddy's ex-wife girlfriend used to tell him all the time, when she get older, she's never gonna be around you. She's never going to want to come back around. And she was telling the truth. I never wanted to come back around him. I remember one time he asked me, was I afraid of him? And I shook my head nervously, and he body slammed me. I feel like that's the type of parent Martell is. But I guarantee you, if you would stop thinking about yourself all the time, and you sat down and actually had a heart-to-heart with your children and asked them how they feel about being around Arian, they would tell you the truth. They only want time with you. They don't care about nobody else. That's all kids really care about anyways. Last part I definitely want to highlight is the fact that he is threatening the children, threatening to knock them out. And it says that he's directing abusive language towards them with the intent to alarming the minor children and causing mental and emotional injury. Martell, this is what you wanted. You wanted to go to court and fight for full custody, and you thought you won. But then you forgot that you actually have to keep up with those court orders. You have to do as you're told. I can only imagine how embarrassing this may be for the children when they go back to school, because kids can be very fucking cruel. And they'll bring up everything about your parents' past. Ain't no telling what the hell they're really going through with the embarrassing decisions that Martell has made over the years. And she said that in this court document that he's been unstable, but she used the of course she got to be legal, but she was saying, you know, how he moves and how he wants the kids to move from school to school. You're forgetting another thing. He's jumping from woman to woman. And it's so interesting because in the beginning we seen all these content creators come out in support of Martell, but where are they now? Because I remember Funky Dineva in specific saying that Martell had a problem, and then he switched it up a bit. And then we saw where Tasha K was saying that Arian has always been Martell's woman. But then we seen a few weeks ago or a week ago, he posts under Shari's picture, Mrs. Holt. Not just that, it's rumors that Martell may be dealing or had dealings with the woman, the new woman, Tish or Tisha on the show, Ken's wife or Ken's, yeah, it's a mess. But anyways, we know that there has been many women coming on this show. He snuck on the show. He's screwed. We know at this point Martell has been with multiple women, so I don't even know where that talking point came from or what point they were trying to make, because they were divorced for years by then. I think it was just a way to make it seem as though Mel was always good with the cheating until it became a public thing. You know what's public now? These court documents. So where are those bloggers? I also heard Martell say that these are allegations. Do you know what allegations are? Stop playing with me. He's threatening supporters of his own on his live. Just unhinged. That's why I titled my video Unhinged. But anyways, he said, stop playing with me. You know, those are allegations from your children though. So now your children lying on you, Martell? What they gotta lie on you for? I think the last thing they want to have to do is run and tell their mom that their dad is being mean to them. And do I 100% believe that Arian and her daughter is being mean to those children? Absolutely. Because we have heard Arian say several times that the Eminem kids, well, we're not calling them Eminem kids anymore. We're calling them Melody kids. But anyways, Mel's kids, she said that they were bad and they were disrespectful. Are they disrespectful because they don't see you as their mother and they see you as the homebreaker that you are? And from my understanding, if I can remember, and my recollection never really fails me, but y'all can correct me below, I remember when Martell wanted to get them kids those phones for Christmas, remember? And Mel so badly did not want that to happen. How do we not know that they're not looking up stuff about their dad and you? I think it's so dumb and naive to think that kids are stupid and that they can't decipher for themselves. That's where you tend to mess up the most. And can I say something, y'all? If a person during your relationship showed no interest in your children, or you had to motivate them to do things outside of you with the children, a lot of the times when you break up, they're going to be that very same person, if not worse. I mean, let's look at the pathology of Martell. His father wasn't there for him. He was raised by a single mom whom he keep trying to disparage single moms out here as if he didn't create one himself. Not one, but two. So we know where his anger really lies. It's with his mama. We heard him say several times the only reason why he was trying to reach back out and get back in her good graces and be back with her is because of the kids. So when he said in the live he can see why other men just throw in a towel, it's because he's probably considering throwing in the towel. He can no longer have her, so why be around some kids that's going to remind me of what I lost? That's too much work. But men like him will go off and be with other women and have kids and be the best father in the world. Just hypothetically speaking. I hope she win full custody, because it's nothing like sending your kids away with their non-custodial parent in one piece and then they come back to you in pieces. Do y'all remember that time when Martell went to go pick up Knox in the wee hours of the morning, brought him back to the house? The kids were asleep in the back and he started stepping all over the kids. It's almost like he wanted them to wake up and play with Knox right then and there. But it was like late as hell. That's when I knew something was not right with that man. Because first of all, who was watching the kids? Guys, you are doing yourself a disservice if you're keeping the non-custodial parent or a custodial parent, because sometimes, you know, it just depends. But if you're keeping a parent around that really don't want to be there, for one, and two, that's causing the kids so much pain and anguish and anger and heartache and pain, you're doing them a disservice by fighting to keep them around. I don't condone in keeping a kid away just because, but if they're putting your kid in danger, I absolutely advocate for that. Until you get it together, you cannot be around my child. And I damn sure don't feel bad for somebody who deliberately put himself in positions to be ridiculed, scrutinized, judged, analyzed, because at the end of all of this, somebody needs to write a book about Martell Holt. This man needs to be studied. And in my opinion, just analyzing Arian, I think she would be happy if Martell was to lose custody of those children. We're going to have to see how this is going to pan out, because I definitely feel like Martell is unraveling at the seams. It's just interesting to me that he won't address anything pertaining to his kids that has been out in the media. As I stated in my last video about Sugar Mama not being his, talking about Arian telling bloggers about Mel's past issues with her mom's ex-boyfriend, if y'all can follow my drift. He said nothing about that. Now you want us to believe you're a great father. Well, I'll be damned. Now, while Marshae and Letitia was able to give a statement when he went to jail, notice we ain't heard no statement. None of these court documents is dry. I mean, the hypocrisy of it all. In my opinion, the real reason why this man is unraveling is because Mel is winning. I feel like the true reason why you're upset, Martell, is because Mel is winning this court case. Tell me your thoughts and opinions below. I will see you guys in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Warning, warning, warning.